Good evening and welcome to the college football playoff here, starting in the quarterfinals where our number one Michigan State Spartans, they are going to try to get to their first national championship since 1966, and they will start against the number 8 seeded Auburn Tigers here in the quarterfinals of the college football playoff. So guys, it's going to be a fun episode. Hit that like button, hit subscribe. That game action coming soon. So then, let's go ahead and get things underway here as we start with the ball first to begin this game. And listen, we got to start with getting that running game nice and established. Bobby Russ is going to take the carry for a gain of 6. As now that's going to provide a 2nd and 4 as we'll run it up the gut once again. Bobby Russ will run it down the middle of the field to pick up a gain of 8 on the play, as we are going to pound this football down Auburn's throat. We are going to make them feel us here on this drive, and I know that deserves a massive pause moment, but we do run to our first third down conversion. We'll see if we can pick up the sticks here as we go 4 wide, as we try to throw over the middle, and man, we were trying to target Mike Holt, but that was a bad misfire. So we're going to have to go ahead and punt this football away, unfortunately. And now we'll go ahead and see Auburn take over for the very first time in this ball game, as we'll see Tolbert drop back the pass. He's going to look to the left-hand side and throws a dot to Calvin Harrison for a 20-yard strike. 1st and 10 for Auburn. Tolbert dropping back. He's got all the time in the world. Tries to dump it off, though, but it is going to be ending up being incomplete, as we were able to go ahead and make sure that that pass was deflected away. As we'll see Alfred Garner, his first carry of the game. He's actually going to be breaking in a massive way that's rushing yards record. He now has far more rushing yards in a career than Tank Bigsby. He's now sitting at over 5,000 yards, but he's going to be denied at the line of scrimmage. That's what I'm talking about. If we can shut down that Auburn running game, it's going to be barbecue chicken, because eventually our offense is going to go ahead and wake up. Now we start with this next drive. We still have not seen any points on the board yet. We'll see if we can change that here, as we will have yet another 3rd down that we need to pick up. They're going with only a few guys in the box, so let's see if we can try to run it for the 1st down, and we're going to get it. Billy Hammond off of the speed option. He will pick up the 1st. So that does keep our drive alive for right now, but we are also facing 3rd and long. Hammond dropping back. He's going to look over the right-hand side and finds Leslie Johnson right by that midfield logo. His first catch of the day extends the drive for the Michigan State Spartans, and it gives us a few more extra plays that we get to go ahead and work with. 2nd and short coming up. We're going to go with a read option, and look at all this open space that Billy Hammond's going to get. Of course, Mike Holt is going to get in our way, so it could have even been more yardage than what we actually got there, but it's still going to be a nice 2nd down that we will pick up. And now we're also going to find ourselves in the red zone. On top of that, 1st down for us. We are in serious position to finally get some points on the board, as we'll start with a speed option to the left-hand side. Billy Hammond, he will shake off a few defenders. And now that leads us to a 3rd and 4. Hammond in the shotgun formation, looking at Leslie Johnson. He's got his man, and he's going to find the end zone 2. Touchdown, Spartans. Billy Hammond to Leslie Johnson. They are able to connect and find that end zone as well. And that's going to actually wrap up the first quarter, because after our touchdown, Auburn does do a kick six. They get a special teams touchdown. So we're still tied in this game. So we jump into the second quarter of action now, as we could not get anything going on our next possession. So after the 3 and out, Auburn will take the field as they run a read option of their own. Tolbert does end up getting into open space and gets it to about that 45-yard line. So it was a good start to the drive for the Auburn Tigers. But on the next play, Tolbert, he is going to throw it to his receiver, who fumbles the football, and Patrick Goshwin, he is going to get his hands on it. And now our offense gets beautiful field position to work with. That was actually Kenneth Wood that made the tackle. And now we'll go ahead and also see Patrick Goshwin with the fumble recovery. So now we'll go ahead and see our offense take over. Starting to drive, we go back to Bobby Russ. And Russ is simply cooking right now, getting us inside the 30. As we'll pass on the 2nd and 6. Looking for Wesley Johnson. But Darius Jackson will bat that football away at the final moment. So now 3rd and 6. I'm trying to come away with some serious points right now. Hammond going over to the right-hand side. He's going to get down to Bobby Russ. And Russ, he's going to be brought down behind the line of scrimmage. And you know what? Scared money certainly is not going to make any money. So we're going to go for it here. 4th and 7. We're going with a 4 wide set. Looking around, but Hammond faces pressure right away. They call him down on the fumble. But that does mean that we are going to see our poor football team. We turn the football over, man. And Auburn takes over. Pretty good field position themselves. Gets it inside the 40. But then Tolbert gets into the open. Early Austin, he can't make the initial tackle. Eventually will be cleaned up. But now Auburn all of a sudden with a chance to take the lead. And with this run right here from Tolbert, Tolbert is going to get into field goal position. So let's see if Auburn can take their first lead of the game as they try to set up the screen over to Chris Howard. But we snuffed that out extremely quickly. That'll give our defense a little bit of breathing room. As now 2nd and 14. They trying to go with the halfback draw. And actually does really work. Except we got another fumble on the field. And Patrick Goshwin is going to recover the fumble. How about this defense really stepping up for us here in the first half of this college football playoff game? Saving some points for us for sure. But now we'll see if our offense can wake back up. We take back over 1st and 10. We'll start with a quick pass over to the left-hand side. He will pick up a few yards off of that. But I'm really trying not to go 3 and out right now. You know, our defense can only do so much. Offensively, let's see if we can pick up some slack here as Billy Hammond makes a man miss and gets himself out of bounds. That way we don't have to worry about fumbling that football ourselves. And we now get into within 3 minutes here of this first half. Hammond trying to dump it off to Bobby Russ, but that will end up being incomplete. So now we run it back here on a 2nd and 10. As Hammond tries to do a little bit of a pump fake, and Mike Holt gets open over the middle of the field. First down that leads to a gain of 17. And now we looking across midfield, getting it out to Mike Holt, and Mike Holt nearly gets that first down that we're looking for. 3rd and short coming up. Let's see if we can run this football right down the throat. Russ, under center. He's going to take the carry, and he plows through for a gain of 4. And that's exactly what I want to see, baby. Control that clock. I want to be the last team to have chance to get points in this first half as Andre Peters make himself a nice diving grab there. As now 1 minute left to play in the first half. Hammond dropping back. Is going to dump it off to Mike Holt, and Holt will get himself out of bounds, so that we don't have to utilize any of our timeouts. It's now going to be 3rd and short as Hammond lines up under center. Going to go to Bobby Russ. Russ, he's going to get the first down. Does he get the touchdown? No, he does not. But that is going to be first and goal and allows us to get a little bit more time off this clock. Following the first down conversion, we look over to the left-hand side, and it was a dangerous throw over to Cortez Mills. So that led to an incompletion. Luckily, we still have the football, and on that very next play, Billy Hammond, he is going to take a shot, but that shot is going to be worthwhile, though, as we find the end zone once again. Touchdown, Spartans. We're looking pretty good in this game. Defense is playing amazing, and we're up by a touchdown at the half. So we jump back into the second half action, and after we force Auburn to go 3 and out on their initial second half possession, we come back out onto the field as we start out with a quick throw over to the left-hand side. It's Cortez Mills who is able to get his second catch of the day. Good for 15. But then we really start to see that run game really start to come together. We now have 100 yards of rushing. We still have essentially a whole half of football left to play too. But can we keep the drive going? 3rd and long. Hammond, he's going to throw one up to Perry Robertson and just throws it. Perfect timing. It helps to have that kind of timing with your receivers. We certainly are getting that here in this college football playoff game, and it keeps our drive alive because of it. Let's see if we can come away with points here as we got 3rd and 5 from inside the red zone. As we got an opening is Wesley Johnson. Johnson is going to steam barrel his way across the 5-yard line. First down, Spartans. Does that allow us to get a goal line situation going? Whacked over to that right-hand side. It's Wesley Johnson again. Touchdown, Spartans. We will go take our biggest lead of this game. We're going to be up 21-7. So now Auburn's on its back feet right now, trying to make some things happen. Tolbert on the right-hand side. He will run the option, that speed option over the right-hand side. That will be going for a good gain. We'll see if they go back to that option. They don't. Gardner is actually going to keep it and actually fights through a couple of defenders. Very strong run. I know it's only for a gain of 8, so not a big gain by any means, but hey, that's the difference between 2nd and long and 2nd and short. And they will actually give him that first down conversion. I'm actually really shocked by that. I thought we did get him at the sticks, but we will eventually get him on our terms, a 3rd and long. And they have not converted a single first down off of these 3rd and longs, as this could be the first one, as Gardner, he's got the blocks, and he's going to be pushed down by Early Austin. Of course I jinxed our defense, man. They give up the very first 3rd down conversion. So now instead of being 0 for 5, they're 1 for 6. You hate to see it, but we will get them off the field following that first down conversion. We do get them to settle for a field goal. So now we're up 21-10 here. We could still take control of this game, but if we put ourselves in a compromising position, as we will turn the football over ourselves, as that is Joshua Joseph that is going to make the big-time interception. That is the 2nd interception that we've thrown. The first one did come in towards the end of the first half. We tried to do a little Hail Mary, so that's why you didn't see that initial interception. But what we will end up seeing, though, is we could very well see this become just a 1-possession game. It can certainly get very interesting. 2nd and goal. Tolbert out to the left-hand side, trying to set up that screen, but it's actually going to be dropped. And now it's another 3rd and long. Can our defense hold them to a field goal? Tolbert dropping back, looks to the left-hand side, over to Thomas. He breaks 1 tackle, but the rest of our defense is going to rally. We'll see if they decide to go for the touchdown here. They will actually not. and that will mean that our defense, they do get a big stop for us here, only holding them to a field goal. I will gladly take that given where Auburn started the football. But that does mean that we got to do a better job of protecting this rock going in, as if we turn the football over again, Auburn will have an opportunity to tie this ball game up. But we're still playing pretty well. We're up by a touchdown with 1 quarter left to play. Let's see if we can finish the job, and let's see if we can put ourselves a ticket to the semifinals. So we jump back into the college football playoff action here. We jump into a 3rd and long. Hammond looking over to the right-hand side. We throw it a little bit low, but it was thrown to a spot that only Leslie Johnson could specifically get to, and that was a critical first down. It keeps their offense off the field, as we got time on our side, man. We got the lead, we got the clock on our side, and we got the football too. So let's see if we can take a little bit of time off this clock and maybe mess around and get yet another touchdown on the board. That would certainly be something that I would love to see. I'm sure you guys would see that too watching this video. But we're up here. We're going to throw it over the middle again to Leslie Johnson, and that's for nearly yet another first down. Billy Hammond does look a little bit shaken up, though. He does remain in the game. 2nd down. Russ, he's going to follow his blockers into the end zone. Touchdown, Spartans. 2-score lead as Bobby Russ continues to run over this Auburn defense. And now we're going to see if Auburn has anything left in the tank. Can they go downfield and get a touchdown? I would imagine that they would not settle for a punt on this drive. So we got to be prepared for that, as they'll go to that running game. They aren't going to abandon it. They've had some success in terms of actually running with the football. And President Tolbert's going to pick up a 10-yard gain there. Is now 3rd and long coming up. Few plays later. Tolbert in the shotgun. He's going to move Henry out into the motion as he gets good protection and finds an open receiver downfield. It's going to be Adam Smith for a 15-yard catch. Heck of a time right now to get your first catch of the game. Later on, they're going to try to set up another option, but it's going to be sniffed out behind the line of scrimmage, as that was Brandon Wiles, the sophomore redshirt, that came in there and blew that play up right away, making it 3rd and long. Tolbert dropping back. He's going to look. He's going to jump it off to Thomas. And Casey Thomas will be nowhere short of that first down marker. They are not going to have a choice. They are going to go for it. 4th down. Need 5 yards to keep it going. Tolbert looking over the middle of the field. It gets caught. It's caught by Sean Henry. And not only is it a first down, but it goes for a monumental touchdown as well, as that now leaves them just a 2-point conversion away from making this just a 1-score game. They actually are going for it here on the 2-point conversion, but they try to run it upfield, and it's going to be blown up in the backfield. Alfred Gardner had nowhere left to go, and not only that, we were able to take the ball and we put the air out of this football. We find a way to run out the last 4 minutes of this game, and we are going to win our first college football playoff game as a head coach here in the Realignment Dynasty. So guys, what I was really excited about in this game is that we were able to run out the last half of a quarter to seal the deal. I'm really proud of this football team. It was a solid game all around. Billy Hammond, who, by the way, did win the Heisman Trophy. I almost forgot to mention that, but Heisman Trophy winner led the way today, man. 22 for 29, 211 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, one of which was purely off of a hurl to the end zone, the end of the first half, and then the other interception was a bad decision, but 75% completion percentage. I really do like that. Bobby Russ also had a great day on the ground too. He ends up with 32 carries, 158 yards, and a touchdown. Billy Hammond was also able to find a way to get into the end zone too, although he did fumble twice in this football game. Receiving wise, Wesley Johnson was the main squeeze in this offense. He ends up with 6 catches for 69 yards, which, by the way, very nice if I say so myself, as well as a couple of touchdown passes thrown in there as well. The rest of the receiving core, was okay. Did a nice job spreading the ball around. Now, defensively, I was really impressed by our defense here today. And that was because we ended up, we held them to 12 points outside of special teams being involved. Kenneth Wood led the team in tackles today, 7 tackles, 1 TFL as well. It did force a fumble too. Ryan Herring had 6 tackles, and then Brian Wiles, he was living behind that line of scrimmage, 6 tackles, 4 TFLs, and that 1 singular sack, which he actually was the only person to get a sack today. So he need to do a little bit better with the pressure moving forward. But we forced 3 turnovers today. Kenneth Wood, he actually did not get 1 forced fumble. He got 2 of them. And then Brandon Wiles was also able to force a fumble towards the end of the first half. Patrick Goshwin, he had a nose for a football. Even though he only had a couple of tackles in this game, he also ends up with a couple of fumble recoveries. And then Brandon Davis, the true freshman, steps up. He had 1 tackle, but he also got a fumble recovery to help us, create that positive turnover margin here in this game. That being said, so happy that we won the first round of college football playoff. Now we'll check out these other college football matchups and see who we're going to go up against in the semifinals. So here's what happened in the other college football playoff matchups. We start out in the 2-7 matchup between TCU and West Virginia. Coach Gunner leading the defense for the Horned Frogs, and they shut down West Virginia as TCU does win 42-13. Now we'll have to see who they go up against, and that will be the Arkansas Razorbacks, who win 31-21 against the number 3 overall seed. Should be a fun one that we see in that first semifinal matchup between Arkansas and TCU. But who would we actually face in the semifinals of the college football playoff? That will come down to these 2 teams. We got number 4 seeded Illinois, who was able to work through the new look Big Ten pretty well. They're having a little bit of a Cinderella story. And then the favorite in this game, the number 5 seeded USC Trojans, one of the most explosive offenses in the entire country. They are number 3 in pass offense, number 7 in rushing offense, and not to mention, do they have a really good wide receiver as well. One of your guys' customs, actually, Orlando Thomas. He's a senior redshirt. He will very likely be going to the NFL once his playoff appearances are done and over with, as they are going to give him the football early, and they are also going to give this football to him often as well, as we'll see Orlando Thomas at first being utilized in that short catching game, not really getting huge opportunities down the field, but looking like Michael Thomas, because he is certainly looking like an absolute slant god at the moment. And USC looking good as well in their game against Illinois. Before we get the big shot downfield to Orlando, that's a 27-yard reception. And Orlando, he is simply going to overwhelm this Illini secondary. This was a really good season for Illinois. Don't get me wrong. But that being said, USC, they're going to be a challenge for us when we go to the semifinals of the college football playoff. They win this pretty convincingly. They win 52-33. This was, by no means a close game. Illinois, they did put a lot of points on the board, but, USC, when you're able to put up 50 in the playoffs, like it's no problem, it does have some reason for concern. So that means in the next episode, in the semifinals, we will take on USC, and you guys see the ratings compared to us. USC, is not going to be the test that we have not seen before. This is going to be the most challenging game that we have played in this season. They're the highest rated team in terms of overall. We haven't seen a team like this, but Illinois was able to put up 30 plus against USC, so I think with our offense, we can get ourselves into a shootout and we can give ourselves a chance. But guys, that is going to wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure you go ahead, smack that like button, hit that subscribe button if you have to be brand new to the channel as well, as next episode we will have the semifinals first. University of Southern California. I hope you're ready for it. But in the meantime, I hope you all are out there having a good one. Take care, everybody.